especially now when disengagement is at its highest. I think this time the disengagement that we're seeing in the workforce is totally different. This is more passive. This is more protected. We're not protesting like we did during quiet quitting, holding on to our jobs. A lot of the professionals that I talk to are worried that, you know what, I don't want to lose my job. Therefore, I want to make sure that I am positioning myself and staying here and being competitive, which then obviously leads to burnout as well. So because disengagement is so high, and we're not vocal about it as we were in 2022, 2023, and things are changing as we wrap up this year, what we want to really focus on is signature strengths from a perspective of gaining skills, cross-skilling, reskilling, multi-skilling. There's all these different ways that we can skill build, and signature strengths is one that we can. How we have our signature cocktail or our signature dessert or a main that we'd like to cook, whatever that is, I would love for you to just know what your signature strengths are. I always ask folks, do you have at least five? Do you have five signature strengths? These need to be the ones that make you confident. These need to be ones that are so easy for you to do. You don't have to think much about it. And these need to be the ones that are aligned with your values. So for me, if I were to even ask you what's your one signature strength, and if you were to put that in the comment when you watch this on the replay later, think about that. Think about that. Do the test in our blog. There is a strengths test, which is quite popular. It's the one that most of us are familiar with, the VIA strengths character test. Spend the time, right? We're coming to the end of 2025. We're starting a new year. So it's a good time to evaluate, do that audit. What am I good at? And that's the I and the G. So the teams and the individuals, I really want you to go into 2025 figuring out what your signature strengths are, aligning that with your work that you're doing, and identifying ways where you can improve on those skills. If I'm really good, for example, on collaboration, that's one of my powers, my strengths. I'm really good at it. If I want to collaborate, and that's what I want to do. But if there's a different way that I can add a complementary skill to my collaboration skill, which can make me even better in 2026, I would love to do that. So think about that. And for managers, here's a big kind of closing comment on this one here that I'd like to say. Managers, you are a buffer to preventing burnout in your staff. We've already talked about recovery. We've talked about workload management. We talked about building trust as leaders. So managers, you are the first point of contact to prevent burnout in individuals, in your teams. And if you are not aware of your team's signature strengths, you are losing this battle. Because what needs to happen for the individuals that are at the peak of their burnout, inching towards burnout or returning back to work after burnout, is you need to lead them towards work that is energizing them. You need to lead them towards projects that is making them feel that they're utilizing their signature strengths. So not only is this an individual responsibility, this is a shared responsibility where managers also need to know the strengths of your teammates. And you need to be able to list that really, really quickly to me and be able to say, like, yes, I know what Hannah's, and I mean, honestly, you can ask me this right now. I know exactly what Hannah's good at. I know what Jason's really good at. I can tell you about Jackson. I can tell you about Furkan because I've seen all of you in your spaces, and I've seen the way that you work in different ways. And I, as a manager or as a collaborator or as a mentor to these individuals, I can list that off really quickly. So if there was one closing statement I will give you, and in the chat box, if you can, put that in later when you're listening to this, please focus on your signature strengths, do that evaluation, do that audit, and then come back and tell us what that looks like. Okay.